Hey guys, Squatch Reloading here. Today we're going to move forward in our 223 series, and in this installment we are going to be installing the primers. So in our previous videos we've sized, we've deprimed and cleaned and trimmed and chamfered and taken care of all of that, and we've got everything from our previous load blocks into my second bin here. That's basically all of that. So to be in the last bin here, what I call the ready to load bin, they've got to have all of those processes done and the primers installed. And that's how I like to load these. You know, if I'm sizing and priming at the same time on a progressive, that's a completely different animal. But when we're running on a single stage or even a turret, I like to have those primed and ready to go. So all I'm doing is dumping in powder, seating my bullet, crimping, and then those are ready to go into the finished goods bin. So in this video, we're going to do putting primers into these. And there's a couple different ways you can do this. There's plenty of tools out there. I've showed you guys how to use the RCBS hand tool in another video. So in this video, since we're doing these on a single stage press, I'm going to utilize the onboard priming system on this press, and we're going to get these processed and into that ready to load bin. So let's get started. All right, so we're going to take the previously processed brass that we've been working on in this series, that's in this bin. We're going to install the primers via the onboard priming system and get these in our ready to load bin. So the first thing we need to do is make sure that you have the right shell holder in here. And in this case, I believe this is a number 10 from RCBS. And we also want to confirm when we're using the onboard priming on the press that we have the appropriate primer cup in here. And I'll zoom in so you guys can kind of take a look at that. There's two different sizes of this cup. One's for large and one's for small, obviously. And we're going to be using small primers, so we want to make sure, or small rifle primers, so we want to make sure that we have the appropriate cup as we do the installation. So to begin priming, this is pretty simple. We have our shell holder in place. This primer lever, basically it'll slide out of the way when you're running the press, doing other operations, but when you want to prime, you flip it into position and it falls into a slot here in the ram, and then as you stroke the press down, it's going to protrude up through the shell holder and then install the primer into the cartridge. So what I like to do is, when the press is in this position, I'm going to take my primer and put it into the cup. And I'm going to make sure that it's anvil side up, or the business ends on the end that's going to go into the cartridge. So now I'm going to drop it down a little bit, grab our brass, our processed cartridge here from one bin to the next, and then we're going to drop the primer down into the cartridge, and with some firm pressure on the ram, we're going to set the primer just like that. And you look right here, our primer, there's no dents, it's not smashed, and it's sitting sub-flush into the cartridge where we want it. So to move along through the process, again, I'm going to place a primer in, raise it up a little bit, and then seat it just like so. Just like that. And again, you know, when there's a million different ways to do this. Well, maybe not a million, but there's definitely more than one. Whether you're using a hand priming tool or, you know, on a progressive, you're gonna size and prime basically in the same operation. But yeah, that's how we're going to process through these. So I've got several more to go through. I'm not going to bore you guys with that. I'm going to finish them up, and then we're going to wrap this video up. Okay guys, so that's going to wrap up this video. Not very long, but you know, priming's not super complicated. You know, whether you want to do a hand primer or prime on the press, you know, it's entirely up to you. But in this system, you know, you can do either way, whatever you feel like doing that day. You know, sometimes if I'm, you know, upstairs watching TV or something like that, I can just use this hand primer and just sit here and prime and get this bin full pretty quick. So you can see we've taken everything from our second bin here and we've moved it into the ready to load bin. So we have enough to get started loading up those 53 grain Hornady VMAX bullets that we're going to be using in this series. And now that I'm sitting here, I notice that this bin's empty again, so that means it's triggering me to go start sizing again and trimming, and you know, that's the whole process. It's kind of, I'm pulling as I need it, so that triggers me. I got to do another step in the process. So when I get some free time, I can, you know, size a bunch of them and be ready to go. But in our next video, we're going to get these, you know, charged with the appropriate amount of powder per our load data. We're going to set our overall length with our seating die, and we're going to seat the bullets and apply the crimp, and we're pretty much done with this, and we're just ready to shoot them. But you know, if you guys like what you see, please hit that subscribe button. Check me out over on Facebook and Instagram at Squatch Reloading. If you have any questions, you can hit me up directly, squatchreloading@gmail.com. And for those of you guys that are interested in getting the reloading, we recently just got a coupon code or a discount code for Frankfurt Arsenal. So if you go over to frankfurtarsenal.com, enter Squatch10, that'll get you 10% off your purchase. So that's kind of cool. I wanted to pass that along to everyone as well. But until next time, guys, God bless.